Welcome to the I Ching Cafe. My name is Belinda Doveston and it is great to have you here. It's our weekly overview. The weeks are flying by and I really hope that you are getting huge value out of paying attention to the things that we need to focus on. I find for myself that as we work through our weekly I Ching overviews, they are hugely valuable to me. I go back to them, I work with them, I internalize them, and as I should, and I hope that they bring value to you. Thank you so much for working with them so wonderfully. Okay, so it's our weekly overview for the 25th of July, 2022, for the week ahead. And let us get into what we need to focus on. And first, always, let's just recap on what happened last week. Okay, we had Hexagram 3, sprouting or difficulty at the beginning, locked. Okay, double down on the hundreds of eggs that hatched, that created chicks. So the chicks everywhere, and we had to focus on incubating them and putting in place our foundation, our core, to care for these chicks and care for them and feed them and keep them warm and alive and peaceful. And so it related to us for a lesson and a focus last week of the things that are sprouting and the things that we are learning and having to do on the fly. I mentioned having to YouTube while these chicks are hatching. How do I deal with these chicks? How do I incubate them? What do I do? Oh, YouTube, help me. Okay, so what sprouted into your life last week? What did you become aware of? Are the seeds that you planted, the eggs that you've acquired that are now hatching and all need activity? It was no doubt a very busy week for us. So please do share in a comment what hatched last week. Okay, so this week, let us get into what the I Ching is asking us to pay attention to for the week ahead. And we start the week with Hexagram 29, the Abysmal. Okay, this is the doubling of water. The bottom trigram is a water trigram. The top one is a water trigram. Water, water everywhere and not a drop to drink. Okay, so this idea of water, of this energy pummeling through our ravine, through the abyss, through the canyon that we're going through, talks about learning how to deal with jumping into the challenge. Okay, so with this hexagram, it does bring us a challenge. Okay, it either brings us an opportunity for us to launch into something that we need to do, and it certainly calls to us to have courage to take the leap. So the irony is that, usually you think when there's a raging river, okay, that we need to stay away from this like the plague. No, this hexagram is giving us insight as to how to deal with the challenge that in some way we should lean into. Okay. My view is that the challenge finds us whether we want to deal with it or not. I mean, that's life, right? You know this. We've all experienced this where your stuff finds you. There's no part of the earth you can hide from your stuff. And so this week, the challenge finds us. Our choice is, do we cling to the side of the ravine and run the risk of missing the opportunity or being swept away and not being in choice about this challenge? Or should we, let go and launch ourselves into the challenge? So this is about how do we take opportunity of a challenge or a risk that we face. Okay, calculated risk. And we don't get places in life by clinging to the side of the mountain. Okay, we can do that. That is your choice if you want to cling to the side of the ravine and not move on or not move forward. It's your call. But I think you understand what the implications are of that because we stop growing. And there's one thing the universe likes doing is to grow, grow, grow. And if we hold on to that cliff long enough, we're going to get taken out, okay, because we are refusing to move forward. If the opportunity presents itself for us to lean into growth, to lean into the challenge, let's do it. And let's find a way of taking from this challenge some guidance, some ideas of how to manage and work with the challenge. Okay, so this week there are two changing lines and there are specific things to help us understand what is going on at a deeper level, on a more specific level with this abyss that's wanting us to leap. Okay, and it's changing line in position 1 and 2. So position 1, it's the beginning. Okay, it's coming in, all right? And this changing line says warning. Okay, for this hexagram, almost all the lines are warnings. Okay, but this changing line says the warning is that we keep on doing the same thing over and over. Okay, how does that saying go? The height of stupidity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Think about that when we work with this line this week. We keep on going and doing the same thing, and it takes us down into the bottom of the pit, and we're trapped. Okay, we get to a dead end and we have to come all the way back. Okay, so what do we need to focus on? This changing line has come to say that in this challenge that we're being asked to lean into this week, there's something here where we are in repetitive cycles. We keep on bashing our heads going down the same path. Okay, so the way we work with it is we look and we reflect on the patterns that we keep repeating. What do we keep on doing that keeps on giving us some hassles? Okay, what is that thing? Personally, is it a business thing? Professionally, what is that? Let us spend some time reflecting on the thing we keep on doing over and over, okay? And let us make a new choice that doesn't lead us down into the bottom of the pit, into the abyss, the trap, okay? Because once we are trapped, there's a whole lot of energy to get back out, that entrapment, okay? This might be making decisions that lead us into a whole lot of complications that get us tied up in commitments, okay? So think about the commitments you make, the decisions you make. What do we keep on repeating here, okay? And how can we do this in a different way? This changing line can also refer to where we have got so used to throwing ourselves into a position of danger, okay? Into risk, that we've become used to the level of risk, okay? We've acclimatized to this intensity of risk. And so instead of risk being a warning that says, no, okay, we are so acclimatized to this risk and so used to it, we cannot see that it really is something we should not do and really need to rethink it. So when we get into the headspace of, we've been here before, we know how to handle this, we can handle it, let's just go for it and figure it out. Okay, when we get into that mindset where we are just so accustomed to the risk, we can't see how difficult the path is that we're wanting to say yes to. Okay, it doesn't mean you shy away from risk, because this whole hexagram is teaching us about how do we step into or throw ourselves into flow when the flow gets us through a challenge, okay, through a growth spurt, through an opportunity to lift our game. This particular changing line says there's a trap if we keep on going down the same pattern. Let's not do that. Okay. Then in the second position, we are in the pit, we are in the abyss. Okay. We are in the flow of water, we are at the bottom of the Grand Canyon looking up. And this changing line says what we have to do is we have to bide our time, not be impatient or rash. We have to be flexible and adaptable, and we will get what we want if we are small. And by small, not insignificant. I'm saying small as in humble, taking what you can from the moment, be willing to make small wins, not huge wins, and just be flexible and adaptable. Deal with the flow. Okay, we're not trying to push our agenda and push out and be bold. We are being small and adaptable. Small being humble and dealing with things as they come up and just being patient. We will get what we want. So, two interesting changing lines this week. One saying our repeated behavior is going to lead us into a trap, okay? And then there's trouble, warning. The second one says just be patient, be small, be mindful of every little thing. Celebrate the small wins. Don't try and push your way out of the situation, out of the challenge. Just go with the flow, okay? Go and be adaptable and flexible in the moment. Okay, two very good pieces of advice that I trust will help you in this coming week to really, when it comes up, bing, it's going to pop into your head to say, oh, this changing line. Yes, right. This is how I can work with it in a new way, okay, and not get stuck in the trap. And then our second hexagram, what is it? How do these flows of change guide us forward? Our second relating flow of change that we need to focus on this week. Oh, the chickens are back. Okay, hexagram 3, sprouting or difficulty at the beginning. So, second week in a row, we are not done with the hatching process. If you came into the beginning of the week and you still got eggs hatching all over the place and your incubator has broken down in quadrant Z, okay, just deal with it, right? Work with it. There's still work to do to deal with the sprouting, to deal with the challenges that come for the new growth and the new energy. So I really do encourage you to go back and re-watch or re-listen to last week's episode where we unpack these chickens and the hatching and the incubators and what the strategy is. But in a nutshell, it's about focusing on the core. Accepting that for now there's a little bit of chaos, and so we can work with that. We can focus on our core. We can really take the moment to grow and look after the chicks, but understand that it creates a lot of pressure and it creates a lot of learning, and quickly too. We have to move it this week, okay? So a continuing theme of the new beginnings, hatching, the wonderful opportunities that are wanting to manifest and how they show up, just how much learning we still have to do on the area that we're trying to grow. All right, thank you so much. Please like, share and subscribe. It'd be great to have you rejoin us on our next weekly overview. Coming up around the corner, yes, we do have our monthly overview and our first weekly overview for August. Can you believe it? So keep your eyes open for that when they land. And of course, if you haven't yet done so, July's overview was a wonderful energy for us to work with of following what's meaningful to us. If you've missed the monthly episode, go and check it out and reconnect with this energy of hexagram 17 following before July closes out. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon. As always, thank you so much.